When I'm betting the MLB, I'm certainly not guessing who's hot. I want to know who has been the most consistent over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 games. And inside DataStreak, we should be charging for this, but we decided to make it completely free. The MLB Hit Rate Sheets that'll tell you the most consistent players over many different categories, including home runs, runs, RBIs, hits, pitcher strikeouts, you name it, we've got it. Plus, you can see how that lines up with today's matchup so you're not going into the day guessing. This is my starting point for finding the most consistent players in the MLB. So let's hop over to my screen and I'll show you exactly how it works. I'm here inside the MLB Hit Rate Sheets, and these are so useful for not only finding alternative lines, but also finding the highest hit rates on the main lines set at for that day. So we'll see here, we can do both players and we can click over to teams and we can do it by whatever stat we want to look at. So one of my favorite ways to use this is for pitcher strikeouts. We can click over to pitcher strikeouts and we can see these are going to be the alternative lines for each pitcher. So what percentage has Jacob Mizorowski had 6 strikeouts? We can just sort to find the highest hit rate on that line, and he's at 80%. If we wanted to find the highest hit rate for, let's say, 8+ strikeouts, we just sort, and Mizorowski's still there. So this is tracking for this season. So we've only had 5 starts, the max pitchers have had. So that's why it's showing that. Also, super useful is the hit percentage here. That is the percentage that player has hit whatever their main line is for that day. And it's going to show you the odds for that as well. So we can sort by hit rate, and that's going to show the percentage. So Ryan Weathers, his line set at 5.5, and he's hit that in 80% of his games, 4 of his 5 starts. Also, we have opponent rank. If you're looking at rankings, just generalized for offense and defense, or even just overall, just regular pitching, if you're just looking at rankings for, let's say, the team with the best ERA or best pitching stats as a whole, or best teams hitting as a whole, you are missing out on so much valuable information. So we look at rankings, how that team is versus that specific stat. So there's certain teams that might give up a lot of runs, but they don't give up a lot of home runs. It has to be specific when it comes to ranking, or else the rankings can be extremely misleading. It's great to look at this because, you know, teams are going to have different rankings versus different stats. But yeah, so one of my favorite parts, if I want to pick pitchers to get 6 strikeouts for that day, I'll just come in here and I'll sort, and then we'll look at the rankings. So Pittsburgh's 25th versus strikeouts, so you probably want to target them. They strike out more, same with Baltimore. But if they're facing Tampa Bay, for example, Joey Cantillo, Tampa Bay is 2nd in the league for strikeouts. They do not strike out a lot, so you might want to possibly look at an under for him, or just fade if you like playing overs, fade him completely. But we can go through and we can change. We can do last 15 games. We can do last 20, 10, 5. We can look at the entire season as well. We also can go to under, and we can look at the percentage they went under each line. So it's kind of reverse. You'll see 100% here on 4+. So it's going to look at everything in reverse if you like playing unders. We also can change and show by just hit rate if you want to see, 12 of 15 instead of seeing 80%. Whichever way you want to look at it, you can do. And also, let's say you want to target overs, we can actually manually enter in, let's say 25 to 30, and it's going to show you the matchups that are easier. So if you're going, let's say, for our example with pitcher strikeouts, if we want to see the best matchups for that day for teams that strike out a lot, we can just enter in the back half of rankings and look and see which pitchers might be in a really good spot for that day. And we also can do minimum hit rate as well if we want to narrow things down even more. But the hit rate sheets are super helpful with finding those players with really good alternative lines, as well as seeing the hit rate on their main line wherever it is set at for that day, because the lines are always changing each and every single day. So it's a great way to just come in real quick and see how that player has been versus the line Vegas set for them for that day. So that's how I use the MLB Hit Rate Sheets as my starting point each day to find the most consistent players, and also players in really good or really bad matchups for that day, whether I'm betting overs or unders. If you want to try this out for yourself, click the link in the description, create a free DataStreak account, check out the free hit rate sheets inside along with all the other tools on the platform.